All right, we are live. Welcome to the YouTube channel. I am Jason Lucchese, and I'm here with Mike the Myth. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Jason. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be covering some important information today about the market, what's going on in the market. I know some people are going to be coming on here real soon, so I don't want to dive too deep into information right now. But Mike, why don't we kind of circle and talk about what we're seeing right now? First of all, we were about to get in on a really good property. Actually, let's do this. If you can hear us, can you give us a quick thumbs up? Let us know. Just click the little thumbs up thing like right below this video. I know we've got a few people on right now. If you could do that, just let us know that you could hear us. Or if you could type something into the comments, let us know that you could hear us. Okay, that would be great. We don't want to get too far into it and realize you guys can't hear us. So if you could just type into the comment box.
For those of you that don't know, that's coming from some past experiences when we were doing some audio stuff and it didn't hook up. So we want to make sure it's good to go.
Yeah. Let's give some shout outs to some folks that are taking time out of their day to be here with us on the live one. That would be great. So let's see here. Do we have anybody commenting in here? Nothing yet.
Oh, Peter says he can hear us.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. We've got Peter. Quick shout out to you. Awesome. Thanks for being here with us. All right, cool. So we've got a few people coming on here right now. And the other thing too is if you have any questions, feel free, drop them. We'll be more than happy to cover those and get you taken care of and make sure you're taken care of. Raymond can hear us. Welcome. We've got Darius. We can hear you. Awesome. Welcome. We've got Anita. She could hear us just fine. We've got Margaret. She could hear us. We've got Lori. Welcome. We've got quite a few people coming on. So big welcome. Big shout out to you guys for coming on today. So one of the big things that we were doing right before, we got Michael York on too. So right before we were this whole quarantine, this whole thing started, Mike and I were looking at a really big property downtown. It was going to be $190,000 was going to be the purchase price, $275,000, and that was going to completely level the property. It was going to be a new construction. We were at 3,660 square feet, and it was going to be a 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath house. So it was going to be a nice size property. It was going to be very modern, very elegant luxury style. And we were going to, at that time, we were going to be able to sell it for $675. But all of this hit, and for some reason, when that happened, I didn't feel good about moving forward with it anymore. So the recession is causing things like people not moving forward. And Mike and I have gotten some properties, and we've heard. And Mike, why don't you say what's going on? We had some folks. We had some really solid properties at some great prices. Why don't you tell everybody what you've been hearing from not the whole buyers list, but just from a couple people that have been buying from us?
Yeah, and what Jason means by not the whole buyers list is because we have our VIP people that we typically work with. They buy the bulk of our stuff, and then we have the rest of the buyers that they're not necessarily that they're not important, but they don't buy as much. So, anyways, we did have a couple of solid deals around our area here near Elwood. If you're not familiar with Indiana, it's just a little bit north of us. Sent them out. I mean, they were steals. I mean, one property was all said and done. It's probably like it was around, I'd have to look at the numbers. It was a decent sized property. It was like $200,000 price range, all said and done. And then we had another one. We picked up for about 20,000, needed about another 20,000 in rehab, but ARV on that one was pushing 75, 80 grand. Didn't need a lot of work. So we had some pretty decent deals. This all came across right after Jason and I, we were looking at that big rehab for ourselves as well. And we were talking to a couple of our buyers, and one of them had said specifically that he was pulling back. He was pulling back for the next 60 days. He's just saying, hey, I'm not going to buy anything for the next 60 days. I'm going to keep my eye on the market. Right now, I see a big upturn in future short sales. So that's where I'm kind of taking a look at. He was an agent, or he is an agent. And I talked to him a lot because I like getting his market insights as well. And then we had another buyer. He's not an agent, but he does buy a lot of properties, small buy and holds, usually does smaller rehab stuff, which was, we were thinking with this 20,000 was going to fit in perfectly with what he was looking at. And typically would have been a nice fit for him. But even he was like saying, hey, even right now for the next 30 to 60 days, the only purchases I'm going to be making are really small, a few $1,000s in rehab, and that's it. So even 20,000, which was a small rehab, was still pretty big for him. So Jason, that's kind of what I've been seeing with with the buyers that we've been having, or not all of them, but a couple that I've been talking to. But then on the flip side of that, I will say we've had a ton of, I don't want to say up and coming, but different or newer buyers, or buyers that we haven't talked to as much, say, send me everything you got. Because they're on the other side of what my other guy was saying. I'm not buying for the next 60 days. Well, these guys are buying now because they know in the next 60 days there's going to be this upturn of these heavy investors that want to get back in. They're more or less trying to learn. I know, Jason, you talked this on a recent podcast. They're trying to learn the rules for what the new rules are, basically what rules have changed and what they're going to be.
Yeah, and we just had Lori. She's a realtor. She lost one contract, but others extended. That I'm glad that you brought that up, Lori, because right now what I've been seeing is, I go on Zillow, I go on the MLS. There's not a lot of inventory right there, so that's an indication of folks don't feel comfortable right now listing their home, especially from a retail standpoint. We're going to be talking about how to do this from a real estate investing standpoint. So a lot of the properties that we're going to be going off of aren't going to be on the MLS, but I just want to bring that up because a lot of the properties aren't being listed at the moment because there's lots of hesitation going on right now. Yeah, let me ask you guys this real quick. If you could chime in, how is it in your market right now? What market are you in? I would love to know because we are mainly focusing on Indiana, some parts of Michigan, some parts in Missouri, St. Louis, and some parts in Florida. So if you could go ahead and chime in, that would be great on that. Oh, I guess my internet is it cutting in and out?
It was. You're better right now.
Okay. So yeah, if I cut out, just go ahead and start chatting away. But the one thing that we're seeing is already. Am I cutting?
No, you said go ahead and start chatting away, and I was like, I'm good at that. You want me to start chatting away? I'll start chatting away. But no, go ahead.
You are very good at chatting away. You could just keep talking, and all of us will fall asleep.
Come on. Don't be like that, man. You guys will be intrigued. I'm a very good storyteller, okay? One of these times we'll have to start a channel or a series where we just tell stories. But go ahead.
Stewart's in Phoenix. So yeah, I would be curious to know how Phoenix is doing right now. I wonder if it's kind of the same across the country. But anyways, right now, from what we've been seeing, the $2 trillion stimulus money has reached a lot of people's bank accounts. So we're starting to see that, and we're starting to see, especially from an economy. They're already stating that it's possibly going to go upwards to $8 trillion. I don't think that's really going to help. I don't think it's going to help. Some of these people might be doing mortgage forbearances, but I feel like, especially from some of the articles, and I'll share these with you guys. There's a really good one, and I'll share it in the description box from Forbes, showing a lot of key indications, especially from the guy that called the last recession in 2008. If you haven't seen the movie The Big Short, I would highly recommend it. But what I'm trying to get to here is a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford. Yeah, I don't have the Ethernet yet, Mike.
Yeah,
so I'm seeing your private chats, but
cutting in and out a little bit there. We were talking about the stimulus check. That was the last thing we caught.
Well, I think there's going to be an upswing The people are going to be going out with their lates on their mortgages. I definitely feel like there's a big opportunity for this. And here's what Kristen's saying. She's in Atlanta. She's seeing things going on the for sale by owner websites and open houses still being scheduled, but price reductions slowly starting to occur as people are starting to get nervous. Yes, I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing houses, and Mike, you're looking at a new personal residence for yourself, so you could talk about this too. I'm seeing price reductions happening. I'm seeing a lot of new construction out there too, like new construction that we just negotiated on. They started off at 330, and I was able to get them down to 305. Why don't you talk about that, Mike?
Yeah, the same thing, man. They've been kind of dropping down a little bit. There's a house I have been looking at. They just recently came down another $10,000 off their purchase price. I still think they're asking a little much, which is kind of why we might put in an offer, just kind of hoping they'll wiggle. But they've got a house they've already purchased down in Florida, so I think they've got wiggle room, but who knows? But anyways, like I've seen a lot of reductions coming down. We were looking at some bigger homes with more land because price ranges. Not only have the price been coming down on the properties, but they've also been we better rates. So I was looking at, okay, so if we sold my house and put this much money down in the new property, my mortgage, basically would remain the same. My payment might even go down a little bit, and I'm going to have a house that's just a little bit bigger in a nicer area. The areas I'm in is bad, but just a little bit of a nice area. So I'm seeing the ability for people that want to buy a house and move to be able to do so without increasing their monthly expenses. The mortgage and everything. Even though the principal balance might go up a little bit, people are being more reasonable with their properties. A lot of people looking for seller financing options as well. I've noticed that a lot. I mean, I think that's always kind of been a thing, but there's definitely a lot of that. Properties, I've been watching them. Properties like that were in my neighborhood or a neighborhood over. Typically, there was a couple of main streets they were selling in single digits, like less than a week. Recently, it's been about 2 weeks, for these same properties, same areas to sell. So you're talking about a little bit longer listing times, and where they were selling in some cases for over list. Now they're, coming down about $10,000-$15,000 below list before they get sold.
Yeah, and I just put this link up. It's in the comments, so you guys could take a look at it. But it's really kind of talking about the U.S. housing bubble 2.0. There's definitely some key indicators that are going to be showing this. So what I would recommend that you start doing is, and we have good old Uncle Carl on here. I was just on his mastermind the other day talking about some of the stuff that we'll be discussing today. But he's in Charlotte, going great and selling land. Just put our rehab under contract for full price, 1 day on the market, but worried. So there's a little bit of hesitations, but I still seeing folks like Uncle Carl and other people doing some really cool stuff. Thanks for being on here, Carl. And I see some other folks being on here too. Lori's in Virginia and West Virginia. Sellers are hesitant, but prices aren't really down a lot. Listing inventory low for affordable homes. Yeah, we're seeing that as well, Lori. So great. Thanks for commenting in on there. But yeah, Mike, we're seeing also too, Chase is at 20% down, and you've got to have a 700 plus credit score. So I don't see a lot of people being able to afford, especially with Chase terms. I do see other banks following suit with those types of lending criteria. And you and I, Mike, we do stuff with stocks as well. So we have been monitoring like certain things like airlines, casinos, hotels. When are they really going to be opening up? They've already.
Well, one of the things you and I have been really talking about back and forth is not just when, but when they do open up, what's that transition even going to look like? It's not going to be, hey, the country's open back up, everything's back to normal. What's the new normal? Like you and I think it was you and Uncle Carl that were talking about on the podcast, wasn't it? What's the new rules? Everyone's just trying to figure out what the rules are. that's kind of going to be what it is. What are the new rules? What is the new normal actually going to look like? People aren't going to be, going out to the bars right away. You mentioned casinos. We kind of talked about this a little bit. Like, yeah, the casinos are probably, gamblers being, the way they are, will probably go right towards that. But
and real quick, not to cut you off, but as you're talking about that, how many of you right now that are listening right now, like as soon as they reopen things, are you guys going to be going back out like right away? Because we've got a good amount of people on here. Are you going to be headed out like right away? Are you going to go out maybe to like restaurants? Are you going to maybe go on a vacation? Are you going to go on airplanes? Are you going to go in hotels? Are you going to possibly go to the casino? I would love to see your feedback, because I personally, I haven't been able to talk to a whole lot of people. So I would love to get some feedback on that. So sorry to interrupt you, Mike. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
No, I'm glad you asked that question, because it's a legitimate question. Like, what are people going to be doing right when this thing ends? It's not like Disney is not going to open up its parks for a while.
Well, a new article said possibly early 2021. So that's going to be a long time. That's
Right.
a lot of revenue. That's a lot of people that are going to be unemployed and on furlough.
Well, you think about it too. It's not just like, yeah, Disney's going to take a big hit from this, but you think about the mindset in people. Like, they're not thinking, hey, as soon as this is over, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go take a family vacation to Disneyland. They're thinking, okay, the first thing I'm going to do is restock my fridge. I'm going to restock my inventory. I'm going to restock my bank account, whatever it is that they lost during the coronavirus, outbreak, this pandemic that we've been going through. That's what they're going to be focusing on. Yeah, they're probably going to go out to movies and things, little things that, can bring us back a little bit of joy. But like a lot of like vacations, these, buying cars, like, I don't see how that's going to be a big thing right away, because people haven't had jobs for, past couple of months. That the first thing they're going to do is not go buy a car. It's a big expense. Now they might go out and buy a TV or something when Best Buy. I don't know. Maybe they've already done that online because of being stuck inside. But my point is, what is the new normal actually, going to look like? We're not going to be, going out, and things have already started becoming more digital because of this. It's not like we're going to, okay, everything's back open, I'm done being digital, I'm going to go back to the way I was doing it. That's not how things work. Things always go forward. So things are still going to be digital. We might go back to going out more, like closings, things, but I think just because of the way it's been, the new normal is not going to look like it was.
Yeah, and we've got some folks that are commenting, so I'm glad people are doing that. We've got Tracy, and initially to meet with friends. Yeah, especially people that trust. That they've been safe, they've been doing the quarantine, and they're healthy. Uncle Carl, not going out much. We'll use gloves and masks. Yeah, a good friend of mine, Jamel Gibbs, he's been doing videos as well, and he's wearing gloves, masks, especially if he's going to properties. So yeah, I agree with you on that, Carl. Cautiously optimistic. Restaurants, yes. Vacation, dependent on where. Yeah, I agree. Maybe doing some traveling out of the country. Maybe a lot of people aren't going to be doing that. First 90 days, I will go on vacation, but it depends on locations. Yeah, just what we said. Thanks for commenting in on that, Kristen. I am in Sacramento. No, not rushing back out to travel. We've got Lori, my travel bug squished, but networking in person. Yep, cool. Yeah, I agree. Would love to get back out.
That's true.
Or going to shopping malls. Yeah, a lot of people in shopping malls. Connecticut, we're seeing price reductions and dropped listings. Yeah, it's happening. But no, one of the main things that I really wanted to discuss with a lot of folks on here is anybody right now doing anything with probates. I know I spoke about this with Uncle Carl on his thing, but is anybody doing anything currently with probates? Because one of the big things that we're seeing right now is there's with the senior housing communities is that there's a lot of individuals out there to where they can't be visited because they're at a certain age and they're at a higher risk for the COVID-19. So a lot of these folks we're finding, you could do pre-probates, which I'm going to talk about right now, to where you could start talking to individuals that are in these senior communities and they need individuals to sell their houses to, and they don't really know to go to. Main reason why, Mike, and we've seen a lot of these. They've got a house, maybe they bought it in the 60s, and it has never been remodeled. That's a house that they feel like, I can't put that on the retail market. I'm not going to get a really good price for that. So what do they need? They need a real estate investor that knows, hey, going in, it's going to need a lot of work. So why am I bringing this up? Because a lot of the individuals that are at these senior communities have monthly dues that they have to pay, just like rent. It's not like regular tenant income. If you don't have the money, you're out. So it's kind of a bad thing with those folks right now. So, and that could get pricey, 3,500 all the way on up to $8, $9, $10,000 per month, and you're not getting help from Medicare, Medicaid. So what's happening is these folks need your help, and they need to liquidate their assets so that they could have money to stay at their community. So most of the time, Mike, if it's, let's just say mom's got a couple of kids, well, those kids are looking out for mom's best interest, not necessarily, hey, how much can I get from mom selling her house, right? So the individuals are at that point, they're worried about mom's care. So they're trying to get rid of the house as quickly as possible. And we've seen this before. Some of the houses we've gone to, it's never been updated. Some of the house has been hoarded. I don't know, Kate, you want to talk any?
They're generally not in bad condition. They need work, like the framework and everything is solid. The house it's just really, it's just nobody's going to buy it and move into it. They're going to buy it as an investment property, or they're going to buy it. That's pretty much the only reason they're going to buy it. It's going to be an investment because it needs work, right? Right off the bat. They're either going to do the work themselves and live in it, or they're going to buy it as an investment and then flip it. And the other end of it is the assistance you can provide them, because a lot of them, or at least ones I've seen anyways, there's stuff in the house that they might want or might not want, and they don't really have the time to go through it, or maybe it's a distance away to go through it. And on top of them having to have these bills and expenses in their life, they have this property that they've got to travel to, and there's stuff in there that they want but they don't know. And it's, when you can step in and just kind of add a little helping hand, say, hey, I can take a look. If there's something you want, I can send it back to you. That way you don't got to drive out here and come pick it up. I can take pictures and you can kind of walk me through. I'm happy to do that. Just appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk to us. I mean, just for you letting me go look at the property, I'm happy to take a look and let you know what's there. And then help you out there just because you took the time to talk to me. And I know you've got a lot on your plate, and, even if we can't, come to terms on this thing, I'd still like to help you out in some way. You're going to make some people very happy.
Absolutely. Especially if mom's been in the senior community for a while, a big thing for these folks is they need that capital in order to stay in these facilities. And right now it's even tougher, especially that they cannot be really visited too much by their children or friends. I think it's limited to just family.
Actually, have you seen a lot of the news articles and stuff? I know people anybody could comment and chime in on this one, but I know you've seen the posts of people driving by grandma's house in the cars, waving out the windows, driving by the hospitals, and everybody at the windows looking out at everybody. They pretty much have no contact. I mean, I've talked to my family, and I have aunts and uncles that they're elderly, my own parents, and I'm asking them, who have you gone to see? Where have you gone? What are you doing? And every single one of them is like, I haven't seen anybody in a month or two, not even their own kids that are living right down the street. Like, I don't live next to my parents, but my brother does. And he can't even go there because it's like, it's just right now it's not practical. It's too dangerous. The COVID disease is it is a real thing. So it is dangerous. It's not, I think the pandemic got a little blown out of proportion, but if you get it, it is a problem. So, there's no reason to spread that risk. So they're just, they really are kind of isolated. So when you come in and say things like, hey, I can help out with this, money wise, sometimes there's valuables in these properties, old collectibles, things that got left behind, things that they could sell to help pay their own bills. And these are things that belong to them. And when you can show them value, oh yeah, here's this, it sounded like we were talking over the phone, you were having some trouble with that, these bills. And I went to the property and I saw this. It's could get you this. Like, you're just being somebody that I'm not just trying to buy your house and make my profit. I mean, yes, that is what I'm trying to do, but I'm a human. I'm a human being just like you. I understand that this is a house. It has some meaning, has some value, and I'm not here to walk all over you and beat you up over price. They've been beaten up enough by life and everything else. Like, you should come in as an assistance and just, hey, we can make an opportunity or make something happen. I can help you out. I see that you're struggling with this. Um, Especially right now when they have nobody that's helping them. Family can't even get in touch, or they can't go anywhere. Family's not going to go look at this house. Everybody's staying in. When you can make that extra step and say, yeah, I can take a look, take the precautions if you can, if you're allowed to travel or what's going on in your area, but you know just take that extra little tiny step, and that assistance really does help.
Yeah, we got a great question from Walter that came in. He said, Jason, what are some of the pre-probate options for the elderly owners? So most of the time when folks do transition, they go to some sort of a senior community. Depending on the level of care that they need, it's really going to matter, because they could have a POA, a power of attorney, that's handling them from a financial and a health standpoint. So you're going to possibly have to reach out to one of them. But one of the things that we do is we work with those senior living communities. So we work with people in their finance area, and we try and talk to them about, do you have anybody that's looking to liquidate their house, liquidate any of their assets? We would be more than happy to step up, offer a cash offer, and be able to help them. And most of the time at that point, the individuals that are working with the folks that are living in their community, they will talk to their loved ones and say, hey, we've got somebody that's interested in buying mom's house. Is that something that you'd be interested in? Because a lot of the time the letters are okay, but most of the time it's not going to the right people, because the individual hasn't passed away yet. So you don't know who the people are that are handling the estate. So the individual is still alive. And a lot of people get this wrong with getting in contact with the right person. And that most of the time is talking to somebody that's handling things from a financial standpoint at the senior facility, the senior community. So that's the individual that I would talk to over there. That's the person that we have been over there talking to. So that's what I would recommend. And since a lot of people right now are scared for showing homes, if they want to go into the house and all they want to do is maybe just take your phone and just do a FaceTime with it, that's perfect. Not a problem. Just show us the things that we want, and we can make a decision from there. We don't need to make things difficult. We don't need to make things harder than what's going on right now in the economy. Does that make sense to everybody? Go ahead and type in like a 1 if that makes sense. Go ahead and type in a Y for yes, if that makes sense. We just love making sure that you guys are getting that information. But Mike, anything that you wanted to add as well?
Right now, this is another thing. I've talked to some people in other states. We have, those of you should, know us. We have students that are all across the country. So we do talk to people and investors in different states, talking to sellers. Because of that, I've had the privilege of talking to sellers in all different types of states. In some areas like California and New York, there is more of, everything's more locked down right now, especially New York. I think is like probably one of the worst, but because of that, everything's getting on pause. Like right now we're looking at things and we're about getting close to unpause, that button on the remote that steps you forward frame by frame. We're about to start pressing that button. We're still paused right now, and a lot of areas are paused. So in those areas, people are, maybe they're not ready to sell, or they just don't know how to sell, or offices are closed so they can't sell. I don't really, there's just a whole bunch of different reasons for this, but and I know, Jason, I think we're going to talk about this as well in a second here, but because it's involved with probate. Well, people that are behind on probate sometimes are also delinquent on taxes, and this is just kind of one of the people I'm talking about. Tax offices and everything were closed. They were trying to get qualified for some other types of assistance that was involved with their community that they could qualify for, but everything was shut. So they knew that they needed to sell the house, but because everything was shut, they were like, look, I know where I'm at on this. I just not yet. I'm trying to figure out where my place is. So you being the awesome investor and being who you are, you come in and you say, okay, great, not a problem. I understand. I'm just think about it this way: fill your pipeline up. It'll close in 2 or 3 months. Who knows? But it'll close eventually. As long as you become that person's go-to person with, all right, not a problem. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to be pushy on this. Look, I know where you're at. We're all in the same boat together. But stepping through, like Jason was saying, doing the virtual tour, just let me, take a look at that. All right, we're not gonna buy right now. Obviously they're not ready, so you're not pushing to that point, but you still want to be the only person that they're going to be talking to, because you're not going to be the only person reaching out to them. There's going to be a ton of people sending letters and stuff. So just, like I said, don't, some of them are going to be ready now. Some of them will be already given up, while other ones because of the state of the economy and everything, some areas have just pushed pause. And so that doesn't mean pause on your business. That just means, all right, pause on closing. We're going to close maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks next month. I don't know. I know I need to sell this house, but just everything else right now for me is on pause. So I have to wait. Okay, great. I totally get it. I understand because of the market.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I just put up so you guys can see is that individuals that you could speak to, senior care advisors, they're the ones that are more than likely in charge of people from a financial aspect at the senior community. And the title could vary from place to place. So I would just, when you're doing this, best thing to do. And one of the things that I did when I spoke for Uncle Carl's group last week was, you're just going to have to, this is going to be something where you're going to have to put in some work, develop a relationship. But once you do, I'll tell you what, once you get 3, 4, 5 of these senior communities working together with you, you're going to get a steady stream of individuals that want to sell their properties. And like I was saying just a moment ago, the siblings or whoever is the POA, the power of attorney, they are only interested in making sure that mom or dad or both mom and dad are comfortable and they're being taken care of. So they want to get the properties sold as quickly as possible for there. So let's see here. I think some questions may have came in. Oh, did my audio go out again?
I hear you just fine. Does anybody else have a problem?
Will Dodd said it went out, so it might have just gone out temporarily. Will said he cannot hear us.
Does everyone else? I can hear you, so I don't know if everyone else is experiencing that as well. Might want to check your audio settings too.
Oh, Kristen said she could hear us just fine. So Walter, living in Sacramento, about to move to Las Vegas. What are your thoughts on Las Vegas market? So right now, a good friend of mine, Sal Buscemi, that lives there, real good friend. He's been on our podcast before. I've known him for probably over a decade. And I can tell you, he did a ride yesterday. He did a video. And I've never seen Las Vegas.
Hey, I think you're breaking up a little bit there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it cut out there as soon as you started talking about Sal.
Can you know?
It's cutting in and out, man. Your video froze and your audio's chopping in and out.
Okay, well,
okay. Well, I know last time he said just talk, so I guess I can just talk. Yeah.
No.
Are you back? No, you're chopping up pretty good there. Yeah, we're just catching little tiny sounds. Give us a standby a second here, folks. We're just getting his internet back up here. Oh, are you back? It changed.
Back?
You're coming back. You're coming back to us.
That's yeah.
Yeah. No, not yet. It's a little choppy. Your video's changing a little bit better now. It's changing, but it's a little choppy.
Go ahead and talk about the Las Vegas market.
Oh, now you're back.
You want to talk about the Vegas market?
Vegas market. Well, I've compared it to the California market because the same people I'm talking to out in California, they, I think one of the people was close to Coachella area, which is, I know that's not Vegas, but it kind of had a similar feel to that area. Um, Property values, I mean, the in and I can't speak too much on Vegas, Jason. But from what I've seen in like California and everything else, they're still kind of they're either leveling out or slightly going down, or I think like in Vegas or like California or New York, in some areas especially, they've taken a little bit more of a nosedive where, there's 10 or 20 grand that they're coming off a list price.
Well, am I coming in okay?
Yeah, you're good now.
I think the Vegas market, once everything kind of reopens, I think it's a very solid market. I think it's a very solid market. I think lots of money can be made there if you're doing things the right way. I think pre-foreclosures are going to be on the rise over there, just like it is in other markets across the country. So if you are headed there, it could definitely be a really great market, Walter.
Well, I mean, like Jason, I mean, we were talking a little bit ago about investing in stocks and casinos, and we were taking a serious look at them because we know it's going to come back. People are going to be flocking back to Vegas. It's Vegas. I mean, come on. It's not go. I mean, it's Vegas should not. People, I don't know if you don't understand this. Vegas should not exist. It's in the middle of the desert. They had to create all the infrastructure. They had to build a lake or a dam to dam up water to send it out there. Like Vegas shouldn't exist. So it's gonna people are gonna go back there as soon as everything opens up.
Yeah, they're already talking about early May for opening it up and having people come into the casinos, but it's going to be limited. They're going to have to wear masks, and they're going to have their temperatures checked.
Well, they're going to do it. I mean, it's just going to happen. I mark my words on this one. As soon as the casinos open up, it's the rooms are going to get full. I don't know if the rooms will get full, but the floor will get full.
Yeah, they're not going to allow. They're going to be very careful with who they allow in right off the bat.
Yeah, but
not going to be a big swarm of people.
Every single spot will be full. Like if they say, "Hey, we're only going to let in 500 people," 500 spots will be full in that casino.
That is true. That is true because people are probably going nutso right now, especially folks that live in Vegas because it's like a ghost town.
Yeah.
Like I was saying with Sal, he did a video shoot when he was on his bicycle yesterday, going down the strip, and there was barely any cars. Barely any cars. It was a weird feeling. It kind of like the opening scenes of The Walking Dead. Almost.
Yeah, exactly. The Atlanta, when they're panning up and you just see like that empty road all the way to Atlanta. Yeah, same thing.
It was really freaky. But I definitely think things will bounce back. Now, the main thing that I'm seeing that people are going to have, we have over 20 million people that are unemployed right now. If you don't think that's going to cause a problem, then you're probably not on the right video right now, because I could tell you it's going to cause a pretty big problem. Just debt's going to be a gigantic problem. There's going to be inflation, especially if we do another round of stimulus money.
Oh.
It's going to cause another problem. I don't think the thing that you showed me the other day is going to pass. It's just I don't think it is. I think we are going to get another round of stimulus money. But Mike showed me an article the other day to where it'd be $2,000 a month for the next 6 months. I don't think that's going to pass, to be honest.
I mean, I would love to hear what other people think about this, because for some reason, I don't think that it's been ingrained in enough heads what it means when you give everybody, what was it, $1,200 per person?
$1,200 per person, $1,200 or $2,400 filed married, but there's income. If you make less than 75,000, you'll get to 1,200. If you make joint, if it's under 150, you'll get 2,400. Then it's $500 per child.
Okay, so then I don't know if people because that's a lot of money per, like the government, how many people they're in the country. That's a lot of checks to write. Okay, and I don't know if people are putting all or connecting all the dots and saying, okay, not only did we lend ourselves this many trillions of dollars, we basically force fired a whole bunch of people from their job, And right now, people are going, I don't know how many people are going into forbearance on their mortgages. Look, listen, it's not, I know we're talking real estate right now, but people are putting delayed payment, deferments or deferment payments on their car payments, their insurance payments, their medical bills, their rents, anything you can think of that's a payment that's not like a subscription service to like Netflix or something, anything that's that has a lien that's being paid off, people are putting that into deferment. They're saying, hey, I can't pay this month. We're giving them, or the government's giving them $1,200 per person so they can pay these bills, but they are also not paying these bills and deferring them. So now your debt has gone. It's like where did that money go? It went into nonsense, subscription services and things like that, whatever people are buying. I know, clothes, I don't know, just stuff. I mean, yeah, there's going to be a good percentage of responsible individuals that are going to pay their bills, but there's also going to be another good percentage of them that aren't. And we're heading towards like an unforeseen recession, it's a hidden. I know everybody's saying it's not going to be as bad as 2008. We kind of learned from that in 2008, but did we really learn? We just gave everybody a loan that's most likely not going to get paid back. Like, isn't that what we did, only under a different name?
Yeah, no, it's really true. And one of the big things that I saw for the month of March, and I think it's probably going to be worse for the month of April, is individuals that paid their rent. I have a lot of friends that own a lot of rental properties, and the percentages that we're seeing are between 33 to 36% of tenants in March not paying their money. And this is huge. People that have Airbnb properties too, they're getting cancellations left and right due to certain states having travel bans. It's where you can't cross certain state lines, even though people are still doing the traveling. There's cancellations left and right with Airbnb. So one of the things I wanted to show you, site for landlords, contact folks like landlords from GoSection8.com. I'll tell you right now, people are wanting to sell their properties, especially landlords right now, especially like maybe, I don't want to say newbie landlords, but I would say the exhausted landlord or the tired landlord, or, hey, I don't want this property anymore landlord. Those people are going to be wanting to liquidate their properties as quickly as possible. And you could go on there, you could find their phone numbers very easily. I'll have a walkthrough video of exactly how to do that in the coming weeks. So make sure you click the subscribe button below. If you want to see more of that too, make sure you give this video a thumbs up right now. The one on YouTube, just give us a thumbs up. That would be great, so that I know that you would want to hear that. But I'll go back to this one. GoSection8.com. You could go there to your particular area, and it has the phone numbers for those people. I wouldn't contact the property management companies, but I would contact like people that are on there, because Mike and I have contacted folks before that are out of country, are out of state investors that have properties here. We contacted a guy in San Antonio, and he owned 43 properties here, and he wanted to sell like half of them to us. So it brings opportunity with it. And Mike, why don't you talk about that conversation we had with him? He was actually really nice. He was really surprised that we actually contacted him from GoSection8.com.
It's funny when you call people from GoSection8.com, because we get asked all the time, like, what do you say to people when you call them? When you call people on GoSection8.com, how do you start that conversation? It's really simple. Hey, I saw you had this property at such and such street. I've been coming across some similar opportunities in the area. I didn't know if you were looking to get some more. And in his case, sometimes they have properties that want to sell.
He was in a standpoint to where he wanted to get some commercial buildings. He had single family residences he wanted to liquidate. And, we find folks on there all the time. So even if they're not wanting to sell, they could turn into be really great cash buyers for you as well, because that guy ended up turning to be a solid cash buyer for us, because he's in San Antonio, which they're not getting the capitalization rates that we're quite getting here in central Indiana. and also some parts of Michigan and Ohio that we're in, and some parts of Kentucky. So he wanted to put his money where that would help out quite a bit.
I think people get surprised about the cap rates here in Indy.
This is a really great question from Walter. Do the forbearances of landlords impact their credit? Absolutely. Um, Most people aren't going to realize this, that a mortgage forbearance, and coming from the lending side of things, it's going to definitely cause a major problem with people's credit. It could drop. Maybe if they do 1 month, they'll see a hit. You do 2 months, it's going to be a significant hit on the credit.
Plus, you got to think like they got to pay this money back, and where is it going to come from? If they didn't have it when it was owed and they lost their job, and then the new normal kicks in, how many places are going to be hiring right away? How many jobs are going to become available for people that had lost their job, and they'd use the stimulus check or whatever to keep their mortgage or anything going, or because Jason, going back to the Airbnbs, I talked to a couple people with the Airbnbs. One guy lost, I think, $12,000 last month in cancellations. My brother-in-law, he does Airbnb, and I think every single one of his was canceled. I don't think anybody is staying there because they can't. Like, there's just no travel. People are done. And they were talking. Him and his team, they were talking. He's like, "Yeah, we still got to pay the mortgages on these properties. We just got nothing coming in." So he's not doing the forbearance. Obviously, he's still making the payments on them, but just because he's set up to. Think about the hundreds of people that are not able to make those mortgage payments because maybe they just got started, or maybe they just made some new investments, so things are really thin right now. Or I know some people, Jason, they had done Airbnbs as a subletting them. They're on the hook for all these. Now they're paying rent, so they owe rent to all these landlords. All their Airbnbs got canceled. So there's it's a domino. The landlord can't, if they owe a mortgage, then they can't pay their mortgage. So then they either got to do a forbearance or whatever they can do for that. The person who was supposed to be paying rent, obviously they're going to get kicked out if they don't catch up on those rent payments eventually when this thing does turn around and evictions are allowed. Because they're stopping evictions, and you're thinking, man, they're really putting everybody, like, the hole, whatever their hole they're standing in, they're just keep digging. That's all they're doing is digging.
Well, this came up from Tracy. Yeah, I agree with you. The mortgage company is not reporting it as late, but it's going to be showed on the credit report as skipped payments, and they're also going to report it as a mortgage, as a forbearance, because that's going to reset the balance on the credit. So that's going to show up as a forbearance. So it's not going to show up. You're correct. It's not going to show up as a late, but it's going to be reconfigured on the credit as a forbearance, and forbearances on credit could take significant hits. So yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, Tracy, for sure. Let's see here. Nancy, any suggestion on how to go have appointments with the sellers in this code of, yeah, we talked about, I know Nancy came on a little bit late, which is totally cool. FaceTimes with your phone. That we do that, especially, I'm not going to be driving up to like Michigan or any places in Ohio right now. So we have some wholesalers that we work with there that receive parts of the profits from our deals. And what we have go on at that point in time is we'll just have them go through the property for us and do a FaceTime. And yeah, if sellers want to do the FaceTime for us, like, hey, can you show us your house? That's what we've been doing as well too, Nancy. But Mike, anything from you?
It's really, but you don't want people in your house. We're having some work on my house. I mean, this is somebody that I want to come in my house, and even I'm like, I don't really know if I want this person in my house. He's being really cool, taking his shoes off and being really clean after he gets done with his work. But the point is, yeah, you're going to actually make them feel a little better when you just tell them, yeah, actually, do you have a phone? You want to just walk me through? We can record it, and then that'll pretty much be all I need. If I need more pictures, I'll let you know. Oh, really? That's it? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for making this so easy.
Yeah, and Lori, mentioned Zoom, Skype, FaceTime. Those are great tools as well to use. Zoom is free, Skype's free, FaceTime is part of your plan on your phone. There's also GoToWebinar. You could have their free plan. Is there anything else that you would recommend, Mike?
I would just say Zoom, really, because Zoom's got a really nice platform. If you don't, because I know not everybody has an iPhone. Skype is one, but I really like Zoom because it makes it easy to record. You're going to want to record it because obviously you need the video. You want to make it as easy for them as you don't want them to have to record it and upload it, send it to you. Just click this link and then just show me around the house. That's all you got to do. I'm going to hit record on my end. We'll be good to go. Don't show me anything you don't want me to record or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's probably the simplest you can make it.
Yeah, and Walter asked this question: would some of these owners be open to lease options to help make the mortgage payments? Absolutely. There's going to be folks out there that need help from a lease option standpoint, a subject to standpoint. So you could find those folks out pretty easily.
I said it earlier. We got hit up with when things kind of turned a little bit. I started noticing my inbox. I mean, it's always been like that with seller financing, but even especially right now, because with Chase and everybody requiring these huge credit scores, 700 or above, not a lot of people can do that. So they're going to need another option to finance. Huh?
Or the 20% down.
Yeah, or 20% down. Yeah, because you might be asking for $10,000 right now down, but they might be able to come up with 10 down, but they're not going to come up with 20 or 30 down, plus having a 700 plus FICO score.
Yeah, not a lot of people have that, especially the folks that need to get like a house with, lease with an option to buy. Most of the time, they do have cash to put down. It's just they can't get qualified for a mortgage because they may not have established credit yet.
It's like a seesaw. Yeah, the people that have established credit, they don't have the 20% down. People that have the 20% down, they don't have established credit. So that's where seller financing fits in real nice.
Yeah, no, I agree. The seller financing is great, a great opportunity for right now. And one of the places, I'll put it up here on the banner, you could head on over to listsource.com for mortgage late leads. And these are folks that are not necessarily people that are, in pre-foreclosure. You won't get to that standpoint until they're 90 days behind, 91 days or behind. It becomes a notice of default or a lis pendens, depending on where you're located in your state. So you could go there. You could find people that are behind 1, 2, 3 months behind, and you could start contacting them. I would probably reach out to people that are 2 or 3 months behind and they did not do the mortgage forbearance. Those are people that I would be reaching out to. And you could do some list stacking as well if you wanted to. You could find out if there's any code violations, such as tall grass, high amounts of trash in the yard. If there's anything that feels unsafe, maybe the roof is leaking, maybe there's some mold that's exposed to folks. That's where I would go on there. I would go and contact people that are on there as well. So that's a really great source for getting that. It's cheap too. If you have like a marketing budget that you want to stick to, you could keep it around, like 100, 150 names, and you could send off a marketing piece. And what I would say is in the letter, I would just say, I put, hey, first name, and then I would say, we're currently buying properties in and around your area, and I'm interested at insert their address on there, and then just, kind of go, and then, we can pay cash and close quickly. And if they're in a position to where they can't do that, best scenario at that standpoint is I would give them a phone call and let them know, hey, we're still interested in your property. And one of the things I'll tell you too, for a free skip tracing tool. So I'll do this. And Mike, do you have anything about ListSource that you like too?
I was going to comment on the sending out a letter, because filtering out your list and making it as fine-tuned as possible is really going to save you your marketing costs. Plus, it's going to save you a lot of headache, because what you really should be doing is not necessarily taking out a list of 2,500 leads and sending out your mailer and dealing with all the inbound. Right now, you should have a nice fine-tuned list of leads that you should be reaching out to, and then focusing in on them, like narrowing it down. Like if it's 200, 300, 400 leads or whatever, that's you kind of be in that sweet spot, maybe 100. And then firing off your letter and adding them to your system. And then as far as sending out your letter, if you're still trying to keep marketing costs a little bit lower and you don't want to use a mail house, But you still want to send out like 300 letters. Okay, so that's still a lot of letters to type out individual names on. There are tools and CRMs available that will automatically use placeholders, so you can type out and print out your own letters. So you can start testing out. So you can actually, if you do 300, you grab a list of 300, then you take Jason's, what he's talking about. Hey, first name, I was just driving by, or whatever. You can try different types of copy, and then just edit them, send it out to a small segment, find out which is working best, and then, send that out to the rest. I was looking for the link.
We've got fastpeoplesearch.com.
Yeah.
And I could tell you this right now. It's insanely accurate. It was we went over the tools that we really liked on our last video. Fast People Search is great. You could go on there right now. You could type in somebody's information and it'll pull it up for you. If you have to go through like a TLO, there is a waiting period, but that is probably the best for skip tracing. But if you're on a budget and maybe you do get a list of like 100 to 150 people, go to fastpeoplesearch.com and you could get that information up pretty quickly. So let me see here too. Does anybody have any questions right now too? Let's see here. You hit so Nancy, you hit the nail for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Walter, is the regular credit model going to take a hit? Shoot, where'd Mike go? Is the regular credit? Oh, you left for a second, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It dropped me off and I had to drop back in.
No problem. Going to take a hit, or are we going to have a predatory lending again with so many low FICO scores? I personally don't see subprime loans coming back to the market. I was part of the subprime market with Countrywide, and we were doing loans that definitely shouldn't have been done for folks. Mike was with me over there. Yeah, if you want to drop that, Mike, that link.
I don't think I can.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah,
but about some of the things that we were doing at Countrywide.
Yeah. Would you say talk about that?
Yeah, the things, the loans that I don't see those loans coming back.
No, I saw your comment, Walter, and I thought that was a great one. No, I don't think. I mean, you got to think there's always going to be predatory things out there. Like as soon as the stimulus check thing came out, already people were getting, the scams were going on and everything, trying to prey on people for that or whatnot. So that's always going to be a thing. But I don't think banking wise, loan wise, I don't think they're going to let that happen again. Like I said, they changed it. Instead of being loan wise, they gave everybody a stimulus check instead of a bad mortgage.
Yeah. No, that's true. So let's see here. I'm going to show this one real quick so people know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't think that it'll come back just from coming from that side. I don't see FHA. You could still get a house with a low credit score. I believe it's 620 or below. The last time I checked, it might actually be a little bit lower. I see FHA possibly doing something to where they could help folks out. VA, obviously you have to have served in order to get a VA loan. But the other thing too that we were going to talk about is HUD foreclosures making a comeback as well. I'm already starting to see properties start to circulate on HUD Home Store, and I'll put that one on here as well. HUD foreclosures. But yeah, Mike, anything else that while I'm typing?
Yeah, that link that he's got up there right now, folks. The reason I shared that with him because it's a CRM that we've actually talked to Rob Swanson. Jason, you're friends with him about when we were talking about the mailings, because this is how I knew that the CRM allows us to do that. Where you can type in a template. You basically take your I don't have a template in front of me right now. You take your template, you upload it in there, and instead of the name and address, instead of typing in the name, you put in the merge tag, and then you upload your list, and then FreedomSoft will export each individual letter with the personal information, their name, their address, whatever you want to put in there that's personal to each individual person, and plug it into that letter. it'll do that automatically for you on an export that way. If you're trying to keep your marketing costs low, you're doing the mailer yourself, or you want to send it through them, I think they'll even send it. But either way, instead of having to go through and type each one up, because I've done that. I mean, Jason, you've probably done that in the past too, typed up each name and each address. It's time consuming. And the more you try to scale this, the more you got to realize, okay, if I'm going to get more than, if I'm going to chase down more than one deal this month, then I need to have the ability to reach out to 50 deals to try and get, another couple of deals in this month. So, sometimes that means like making an investment into a tool. I know we try our best, Jason, you and I, we try our best to go over all the options that are low cost and can be scaled up within your business. CRMs, you and I have talked about a lot. We've used so many different ones. So, if you have questions, just let us know about them. This is just a really good recommendation for a real estate CRM, one specifically just for real estate. But again, if you have questions on that, let us know.
Yeah. And, Walter brings up a good point right here. He used to do loan modifications, subprime, rough. I will tell you, I'm glad you brought that up, because do I think they'll probably come back out with that loan modifications? The programs didn't really work last time. I don't see it being able to be something that they do again, because I think they'll probably offer it, is what I'm trying to say. But are people actually going to get approved for it? Probably not. I was seeing probably 85, 90% of people not getting approved and being strung along. They were being strung along. And the whole time that they were being strung along, the foreclosure process was happening. Mike, do you remember? This was a while ago.
Yeah.
We were at this couple's house. We were sitting down with them, and they were at this point where they were thinking that the house was going to get approved for a loan modification, and they were waiting at this time 5 months. So I gave them some tips to call their mortgage company and really find out what the heck was going on. Lo and behold, they were already denied. They just never told the homeowners. So they called Mike and I, and at that point it was too late. They were about to be foreclosed on like in 2 weeks. I'm like, there's nothing we can do. And so I think that's going to be kind of the same case again, is that people are going to think they could get approved for a loan modification or some sort of a loan restructure, and it's not going to happen.
Well, here's what else I think is going to happen, because not just that, they are going to sit and wait for that. But their premise for this whole idea that they're going to sit and wait for it is like, hey, this isn't my fault. This didn't happen because of me. So, they're not going to let me have my house stolen from me. Like there's going to be a program. I'm going to get approved for something. They gave us the stimulus check, so they're not going to let me lose my house. That's going to be the premise for them, falling behind and procrastinating on reaching out to the county. The reason, Jason, and I think you know this too, the reason they didn't already do that is because in the back of their heads, they knew, no, they're done. Like they're getting denied. They're just hoping, they're hanging on to this one little tiny thread of hope that they're going to get a phone call that, oh yeah, this amazing program exists. You don't have to make a payment for the next 3 months. Let us know when you can do that, or something like that. I might be going a little bit extreme, but I'm saying like their premise for this is something else will come up to keep me from losing my house, or to keep me from being in this terrible situation. Something will happen. Something is going to happen, but it's not what you think.
Yeah, and I agree. One of the things, we just got this question from William. Jason, where would you go to get a list of REO agents? The best place where I would go, in all honesty, is LinkedIn. We have this in our training called Direct Deal Profits, and we show folks how to go on to LinkedIn. And I'll tell you right now, the best thing to do is go on there, and you can type in REO agent, real estate REO agent. There's several different titles that you can use to find those folks on there. And then once you sync up with them, you'll be able to get their contact information. You'll be able to directly message them on LinkedIn, and you'll be able to, at least have a point of contact, because sometimes there's agents out there that you could connect with, but not necessarily they're going to be individuals that want to maybe speak with you. So I would recommend going on LinkedIn and searching for REO agents. Also go on LinkedIn and go to different REO agents groups, and there's going to be tons of people that you could reach out to from that standpoint. Mike, anything you want to add?
LinkedIn, yeah. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head on that one. When it comes to getting REO and assets and things, so definitely. I mean, you can try Facebook, but LinkedIn's really going to be your Facebook. I think is a good way to use it in tandem with LinkedIn. Like you're not able to connect with them, so you use Facebook as another way to reach the person you found on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I'll pull up the group right now on my phone. There's groups on there to where they have so many different people. So I'll go to REO, and there's one that comes up here. Actually, got to go to different parts on here. So I'll go to groups on my phone, and what I'll do is I'll put together a thing here. So Mike, I'm not sure if you could see this, but let me see.
A little bit. There we go. It's a little
There's,
better.
34,007 members within this group. It's called REO Professionals, Leaders, and Experts. So there's a really great spot for you to find folks in that particular group. So I would recommend that. In all honesty, you could do it right now, which is great. You don't have to travel. You don't have to go anywhere. You could get everything you want off of LinkedIn, and you could have conversations with folks. Right now would be the best time to do that. And if they want to do stuff like face-to-face, just be like, well, right now, the best thing for us, if you want to get to know each other, let's do a Zoom call. And that doesn't cost you any money. So I would definitely recommend that one for sure. Is everybody on LinkedIn right now? Because if you are, let's also connect. Drop a yes below if you are on LinkedIn, and we could connect with you on there as well. That would be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, cool.
Everybody should have went to that group. I mean, even if you're not interested in looking at REOs and stuff, you should still go connect with that group and see what people are talking about and how they look at it, how they look at the market, because that'll give you some more insights. I know somebody asked about, won't the value be down for a couple of months on these properties? Well, you talk to some agents, talk to some investors, find out if you want to know when properties are going to go up, find out when people are going to start buying properties again. Ask them, hey, when do are you looking at right now? No, I'm pulling back for the next couple months. No, I'm buying right now. Similar to everything got, but I'm staying within this price range. Like, you're going to find out from your network when things are going to turn around, what properties are selling, what types of values they're looking at. And just sitting in a group like that and just kind of listening. I go a lot of Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups, and a lot of times I just kind of read through what other people are saying. I might comment in on something, but I'm trying to absorb. I'm trying to get like a condition, like, okay, what are people doing right now? Where are people buying? Like, what should I be looking at so I can improve my next month? I mean, who do I, like, I'll network with somebody that I see, like, okay, this person is, buying in Michigan, and I just talked to somebody that's up in Michigan, and I actually need to build up a few more buyers in the Detroit area, because this guy has a couple properties and I had to pass on them. But now I know that I've seen his emails coming in, so now I need to find out a little more. I mean, don't you think, Jason? It's not just like, yeah, I'm not into REOs, screw that. I'm not going to that group. Well, fine, just look at it and learn.
Yeah, because one of the things that we definitely talk about within that training program is you could also reach out to people not just for REO but pre-foreclosures as well. You could get pre-foreclosures on there. You could hook up with other agents that could be sending you business. LinkedIn's a really great platform for that. And, I've already seen some people. We've got Kristen. She's on LinkedIn. Walter's on LinkedIn. Margaret's on LinkedIn. William. We've got Alberto. He's on there as well. So thanks for commenting in, letting us know that you guys are on there. It's really a great platform. Especially for meeting professionals. But let's do this, because we're over an hour, and time kind of went by. We were going to talk about more things, but we had questions come in. We want to make sure you guys' questions are being taken into consideration and being answered. Do you guys have any questions right now that Mike and I could answer for you? If you do, go ahead and type them in, because I did want to open it up for Q&A, like different things that Mike and I can help you with right now. We would love to share any insights, any tips. And also too, we could do another one of these. So if we get enough feedback, did you enjoy this type of a platform? Did you enjoy something like this? And next time we do this, we could talk about also too some tax delinquent stuff. We're doing some big things with tax delinquents. So Walter, great question. When is our next session? So we do brand new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So they're not all the time. They're not all, live, but we do put out videos, content that you can take a look at. So just make sure that you're a subscriber of the channel, and you'll be able to see that. Oh, big shout out to Al. He's on LinkedIn. He's a licensed realtor in Illinois. Awesome. Glad you liked it, Walter. Nancy, this was great. Awesome info. Definitely like to see more of this format. Awesome. Yeah, we could do that. William, thanks, Jason. This is great. Well, we also have Mike on here too. Let's not forget the myth. He's over here.
I'm mything and out, guys.
Awesome. Angela's on there. And we could cover some more stuff on LinkedIn as well. Mike, training website.
So Walter, why don't you, if you guys have questions on the training, why don't you guys reach out to me directly? You send me an email. I don't know, Jason, you want to put that up?
Put that up there.
Okay. That way you guys could just reach out and ask questions, and I'm more than happy to, we can, communicate over email, set up a time to do a call, whatever. I mean, I know right now, especially, it's tough. Jason and I, we talk about this all the time, not just because I don't want to, you guys have questions. I don't want to step on your toes on that, but just because of this training thing came up, Jason and I talk about this all the time. When it comes to training, because we invest in our training all the time, like still to this day, we invest in training courses so we can learn new stuff. The whole, like what we're doing with tax delinquent, that was like a new strategy we learned from Jason, networking with the people that he knows and finding out, hey, what's something else we can be doing. So part of that with the training, we understand right now it's a tough time to pick, what can you do to, make money in this market. People are freaking out with this recession. I don't know what I should do. I can't do, like, people are like, can I even do this training program? Are the offices open? Is this something can I actually close a deal? Like, if I found a person, could I do all the paperwork, go through can I execute all the steps right now, the way things are? And that's a big question people are having. So full expectations all the way around, not just for us. When it comes to any training, I think you should be looking at a few things. Can you do this? Not just can you pick up the phone and read the script, but can you, fulfill on the marketing budget? Can you fulfill on the tools and tasks that are required? Can you, if you need to go look at a property, can you do that? Or can you do, as Jason said, can you whip out your phone and do a quick virtual meeting? Are you going to have the time to set aside to take a few of these phone calls? And then the training itself. Hey, am I going to dedicate myself to this one strategy, learn it, perfect it, get a deal out of it? And then, because I talk to people that have, I'm doing 2 or 3 different things. Hey, I've done that as well. I'm guilty of it too. I buy 2 or 3 different programs. Jason, I know you've got a great story on how you had like a 5 or 6 different ones. I don't know how many you had around you. We've done this. We've been there. We've done that. So when people talk to us and we talk to them about training, some of the things, as soon as somebody says, yeah, I've got about 3 or 4 different programs, I'm like, oh man, red flag and a half right there. What are you focusing on? How are you going to get a deal if you're not focusing on one strategy? So just ask, fiery questions away. I'm sorry to go on a long one for that one.
No, it's fine. Also, too, I wanted to let folks know that my book, Flipping Out Over Probates, was released not too long ago. And it's a short read. And I know we're all inside right now. So if you want to get it, it's on Amazon. And all of the proceeds are going towards charity. So we're just trying to help out right now. Flipping Out Over Probates. It's on Amazon. And lots of people are loving it. We're seeing people get results from just going through it. I wanted to take all of the fluff out and just put all of the details in there. Just how to do things step by step. So definitely a great book for you to check out. So flippingoutoverprobates.com. Definitely check that out. Let's see if we've got any questions that have come in. Oh, awesome. Thumbs up on the book. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good stuff. Carolyn, good stuff. Carolyn Pronte. I'm probably butchering the last name, so I apologize. She's on LinkedIn. Glad everybody's on here and they're dropping stuff for where you are located at, especially for LinkedIn. Would love to connect with all of you guys on there. I don't see any questions coming in, but we are going to plan for another one. So if you really enjoyed the today, make sure you become a subscriber of the channel, because whenever we have new content come out, you'll receive a notification. And if you're on our email list, you'll also receive notification. I'll talk with Mike once we're done here and see when we could do another one of these sessions, and hop more into pre-foreclosures, tax delinquents, which is going to be huge. That's a big one. So if you guys want to hear about tax delinquent properties, definitely chime in. Let us know if that's something you would enjoy hearing about, because that's a big one that Mike and I are working on right now. And we're mainly focusing on wholesaling right now. So if your primary focus is wholesaling, that's something that we can definitely help you out with. Let's see here. We get a question. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Anything from you?
No, I love to. I would love to talk more about what we're doing, and if people do want to do another video, I'm all on board for that.
Yeah, we're getting some yeses, more sessions. This was great.
So I guess you and I will have to talk afterwards. Maybe if people want to know the story of how you came up with the name The Myth, because I would like to hear that one. I honestly don't even know how that one came about. So it's got to be a good story.
I was just rambling one day. We were on a coaching call, and I wanted to come up with a nickname for you. So, unfortunately, Mike, it was nothing special. But you kind of are the myth, though. You are behind the scenes, and you're almost you're like a ninja. Like especially your hair is going to be growing over, and we're going to have to tell you quite soon.
I've never had my hair this long. I mean, I'm wearing a hat. I like my hat. Don't get me wrong, but I don't usually wear hats, especially indoors. But with barbershop, I'm able to cut my children's hair. My wife says she can cut my hair, but I don't know yet. Her brother cut my hair once, long time ago. So we'll see. It's a little bushwhack right now.
Yeah, we'll give everybody a quick show, Mike.
Show. Yeah, look at that. I guess that matted down a little bit. Not too bad.
Yeah, you can always do this look, Mike, if you want.
You know what? It's thinning. My hair is thinning, so I've talked to the wife about maybe shaving it, and she's like, "I don't know, maybe if you have to, but not yet."
Yeah, Walter. Well, I want to say thanks, Alberto. Really appreciate your feedback. Yeah, Walter, we could cover some subject to deals. That's not a problem. Those are super simple to do. I know there's people out that make them much more difficult than they need to be. So Mike and I will come up with a game plan of next one that we'll do, and we could come up with some great stuff.
One last thing. Would anybody on the next video? I'm not gonna unleash it on this video, but on the next video, would anybody like to hear the story of Jason Lucchese's? Well, and from my perspective, from what I've witnessed, his first negotiation.
Oh dear.
His first negotiation that I saw, and it will knock it knocked my socks off, not once, twice. Okay.
Well, you've got a lot of different stories, going on there.
These are true story. This is not a okay. This is not a story. Would you like to hear the documentary on Jason's first two negotiations? And the reason I want to bring it up is because we're talking about tax delinquents. We're talking about people behind on probates. It kind of fits in because I asked him, I'm like, dude, how did you do that? And he told me, and I was just a little blown away. I was like, what? And then he went and did it again, and I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. But it was about creating value is what he did. He positioned himself to create value for the person on the other end and got what he wanted, not once, twice. So if you guys want to be on for that one, I think it was a great story. It inspired me at a very, very young age. And for those of you who don't know, Jason and I have known each other since 4th grade.
Yeah.
So this story could be anywhere between now and 4th grade.
Yeah, we're coming up on a long time. I think that was 92.
It was a long time. It was a long time.
A decent amount of time.
It looks like, I mean, you're putting it up, so it looks like a lot of people want to know more about the story. So on the next episode.
I guess it's going to be a embarrassing episode for me.
It's not embarrassing, guys. It's not embarrassing. Trust me. If anything, you'll get a laugh. I'm sure you will, because it makes me laugh just thinking about it. But what happens plays right into kind of what we're not the pandemic thing, but the approach you should be taking to the people you talk to. What he did at this time plays right into that, and it's a great story. And it paints a great picture on helping you, like, okay, oh wow, smacks you in the face with like, that's what I should be doing. I really smacked myself in the face there too.
Jeez. Oh man. Yeah. We'll make sure if you're on the email list, we'll definitely get you notified, or Facebook. We've been updating Facebook as well for these YouTube live stream sessions. So I guess we'll be doing a little bit of some storytelling as well. So we'll have that in there. But any parting words, Mike, before we end the broadcast?
I am just so excited. I'm going to take notes. I gotta make some I'm so excited about telling this story that
gosh, I can't wait. Alberto already saying you're having him say I'm the real estate master.
Oh, there we go. It's your nickname. Hey, Jason Lucchese, aka the RE Master, with Mike, aka the Myth. Got it.
Oh, goodness gracious. And also, too, if you guys have any good movie recommendations, Mike is always looking for stuff. He's missed out on a lot of movies during his childhood. So I've been trying to help him out. But if you guys have anything, that would be great. But other than that, hey, we're at an hour 20 right now. Everybody that's on with us right now, thank you so much. Next one that we do, we're going to have some free like downloads, contract downloads. I know in previous videos we gave out purchase and sales agreement, assignment of contract, the maximum allowable offer calculator that Mike put. So if you haven't checked those out, make sure you check out some of our previous YouTube videos. So next one, I'm thinking a great one that I'll go over is a letter of intent. We'll go over that. We'll explain it. We'll explain how we use it. So next call will be really powerful, just like this one, and we'll go over that stuff. But other than that, I don't see. Yes, everyone stay safe for sure. Great point, Walter. Stay safe. Yeah, I'm sure Mike's seen 300.
I've seen 300. You got to think.
Mike's a big nerd too, so I'm sure he's seen X-Files. I've heard Tracy said Hell or High Water on Netflix. I heard this is a good one. I just got done with Ozark, and that was a good one.
Was it?
Yeah, it actually was. I saw the first episode, like, I don't know, maybe a year ago, and then just never followed up on watching it. And then I've been watching. I don't do the whole binge watching thing. I'll maybe watch a couple episodes and then do some work. But other than that, yeah.
I like the classics like The Office because I already know how it looks, so I can have it in the background and I know what's going on, so I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, Office is a great. Yeah, Big Short.
Big Short
from Walter. That's a great movie, especially for right now.
Yeah.
Company Men. Ooh, I heard that's a good one. Alberto, Company Men.
If you want if you want a mini series, some of you probably know. If you want a mini series that's going to kind of freak you out a little bit, just because of current circumstance, Jericho is a good one. It's an older one, but it's a good one.
Nice, cool, awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in, but hey. Yeah, Ozarks is great. Yeah, thanks, Walter. But hey, thanks for joining us on today's live session. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you guys. Make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video. Make sure you become a subscriber, and we'll see you on the next one, my friends. Take care. Have a great day. Be safe, and we'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye now.